What's up, everybody? It is I'm So Cutie. Today we're going to be talking about some of the most exciting cards in Attack of the Vine. I personally just keep seeing amazing cards being printed, keep seeing cards that will be incredibly strong post-rotation, especially with the things that we do have access to. And I think with about 80 cards released so far, there are just a tons of must-haves and must-watch and must-have synergies basically going into this post-rotation. I also feel like if I let the set keep going on, I won't have enough space to basically cover everything. So as of today, we are going into all the stuff printed in Attack of the Vine and all of my favorite things. Let's get right into it. An honorable mention that I really want to put in almost immediately is those Pete and Gastons that have those static effects on those Floodborn characters. Pete, your Floodborn characters gain +1, and your Floodborn characters get +1 static from Gaston. Things like Lumiere are still in the game. Being able to get Lumiere triggers and Gaston triggers is absolutely insane, especially when it comes to decks that are trying to either create incredibly tinky bodies. Under the Sea use still, because Lullaby and Under the Sea are still in the meta. And then again, being able to set up things like Mulan, have impenetrable Woody defense is just so cool. We still have, again, 120 cards to see. We could get a much stronger array of Floodborn characters, but so far these cards are absolutely insane. I love this Gaston so much. Having that +1 is just insane. It's the same reason why Lumiere is so good. Rapunzel and Flynn Rider are an incredible shift target. Being able to shift on 3 with 1-drop shift targets for both of these characters is absolutely insane. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. Obviously, it is very lackluster, but this character is questing for 2 on curve and is inkable. During your turn, whenever you discard a character card, you may play that character from your discard. You pay all cost. This card has an absolutely high ceiling of play. Typically, people will likely get it wrong here and there. But typically, so when you go into your turn 4 where you have 4 ink active, you will want to ink, quest, take the ability, and discard the card that you're going to play regardless of the turn, right? So you draw, you discard, but it's really just the character you're going to play anyways. You lose no cards in your hand, and you draw 1, right? It's an incredibly strong card. It has an incredibly high skill cap, and with so much synergy being printed with the Rapunzel, the Gothel, the actions, we're just going to keep seeing more. And obviously, green also has things like 3 arrows, Merida, Max Goof, and songs that can continuously be recycled. So this card will only get better. Number 1, and this is probably my absolute favorite card of the set, and I believe this card is so incredibly good. It is Paradise Falls. While you have a character here, this location gets +3. Obviously, it is very expensive to move into this location, but with things like Touch the Sky that are remaining after rotation, this card is just so incredibly good. You establish the 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. You are still in threat of singing Strength of a Raging Fire, and then your 2-drop can sing you. You cannot keep Strength of Raging Fire on your 4-drop. You play Paradise Falls. You sing yourself into the Paradise Falls with Touch the Sky. You draw 4. You draw your Strength of Raging Fire. The 3-drop is still active to Strength of Raging Fire. And now you are producing 4 lore a turn with 3 green steel characters on the board. This combo is going to be absolutely nasty. Ursula, the 2-drop stripper, is still going to have to be in the game. Mowgli to get rid of things. And then that green card, I believe her name is Quack Faster, that discards a location of your choice, is going to be very meta. I think that this combo in itself is just so incredibly strong. Being able to do this for free and still establish a 3-drop. Paradise Falls is going to be insane with Touch the Sky. Touch the Sky is going to explode in value. Rapunzel is also a card that is the set champ promo, so it's actually very exciting that the promo is a princess, a very popular princess, and it is not the playmat. I thought that was really interesting, and I really like this card. This card is incredibly strong. It is just a 2/1, it seems, but when you discard a card from your hand, which you can trigger once per turn, you can get a +1 lore and evasive. Very good. Evasives are very hard to interact with. That is still an issue even now with like Pegasus, the 1/1. You don't really get to clear that until later in the game. So this is just incredibly good. And again, green steel being a very high skill ceiling, teched out, draw, discard deck, being able to throw things like 3 arrows, Gothel, or even other toys to basically get a insane value from your discard is going to be a really big thing. I did add Zombie Lilo because maybe we still get the reprint. I'm hoping Zombie Lilo is something that has a promo foil in those gift boxes, and I really, really like Lilo, especially if she existed while this Rapunzel existed in core. So I'm just putting it out there, but even in Infinity is still super good. This card is also a princess, so Aurora, Eleanor, Willow, Pocahontas can all trigger this girl back into the board. It's going to be insane. This Rapunzel is absolutely going to be meta. It is just very, very good at what it does. If you need to just turn on the jets, it turns on the jets. And I really, really like it. This guy is actually really good. When you play this character and whenever he quests, each player reveals the top of the card of your deck. If it's a character card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, to the bottom. In creature decks, this is going to be absolutely insane. There are going to be, again, decks that play actions, locations, and all this fancy stuff. So Mike Wazowski is basically meant to trigger for you every single time. It's kind of like the trade-off of Daisy. Again, Mike Wazowski does insanely well with Dale. It does insanely well in sort of creature aggro decks because you are drawing 2 basically before it gets blown up. Things like Willow can discount it. It is relatively super, super cheap. Even at a 2-cost uninkable, it is super worth it to play it in decks like Dogs, for example, if Dogs were to still exist. But again, we still have Aurora, we still have Willow, and we still have that Pocahontas. So being able to cheat out multiple things is not going to be an issue. Mike Wazowski, a very, very good card. I do see this card existing probably at 3 ofs. Just because at 4 it might be a little bit awkward. But again, 0-4, being able to synergize with Dale just so incredibly well is so exciting. This card is very exciting. All these cards are just insanely exciting. I want to get my hand on products so bad. I'm typically a guy who just buys singles, but honestly, this makes me want to just crack it open and make videos on cracking product. Buzz Lightyear and Woody are 2 cards that are so insanely good. I don't believe you'll be able to run the sets of 8 in your deck. I think it'll have to be like 2-2, 3-1. I don't think 4-4s will exist, unfortunately, but these cards are amazing. Buzz Lightyear is insanely action oriented, where you get to discard an action card, play an action card. Super insane to be able to basically do both. Again, Buzz Lightyear has an insane effect with a lot of those actions that we can throw into the discard and trigger anyways. And then being able to throw something in the discard if you have a toy and then play it for free is just an insane effect. It's amazing. Woody, again, very oriented around characters, being able to return a 2-cost from your discard if you have a toy or nothing, but then if you have a toy you get to play a 2-cost for free. Again, being able to recycle things like Rex, where they produce lore when they're dying and then it be bodyguards, or even again produce like this Mike Wazowski to basically have an infinite cycle of being able to basically draw one. You are just a very, very impressive like burn deck. In a sense, like all your things are 0-4s that can swing for 4 because of Dale, and now you're just like somehow regenerating over and over and over again with things like this and Nani and Eleanor. Woody is just incredible. Depending on the deck you play, you basically play one or the other at 4. Incredible cards. I really do agree that having 2 effects is just incredibly good. It's the reason why Lamp was really good when Jafar was really popular in set 8 or set 7. Pocahontas is so good. I love this card. I think that there are amazingly broken lines with it. Again, if Dogs and things like that were kind of still full in core, being able to basically open Aurora, Willow, Aurora trigger Poca trigger on Maylene, you have 8 Singer for Under the Sea. So going into your turn 3, you can just play like again Rhino or anything that mimics Rhino, or even Hard Lullabies. You're literally just able to like throw a Hard Lullaby out and then clear the whole board likely at turn 3. So something like Pocahontas is super good. Again, being able to even not hit the Aurora. Aurora is actually very important, but like Aurora into like the one Pocahontas, 1-cost Pocahontas into another 1-cost into another 1-cost with no Willow, and then basically be able to quest, and then turn 3 be able to shift Pocahontas, quest, not be challenged, and even be able to like hand check with Ursula or Mowgli, which are still in rotation. This card is just really, really good, and I really love this card. I think that Under the Sea is still going to be an amazing threat in the game. I really want to pick up foils. I've never had a foil Under the Sea, and I really want foil Under the Seas, but I'll likely be on something green yellow. Green yellow has just been an incredibly consistent deck for me, and I enjoy playing it in core so very much. The techie aggro is just something that I've really like leaned into, and it's very, very fun. But again, Pocahontas, an incredibly good card. You broke my smolder. Broke my smolder. I thought it was shoulder. Am I crazy? It might be smolder. Oh, because of his face. Yeah, that's right. But again, like, this is Doc. Being an action makes it, I would say that it makes it worse than Doc, because people make the argument where, like, it's not a body, but it also costs 1. Costing 1 is disgusting. You say that Doc is so good because you filter your hand down to Doc, you know, and then you play the Doc, don't discard anything, draw 2. This is the same thing, man. This is a 1 cost action that draws 2. Insanely strong, and again, being paired with colors that could possibly like discard their own hands to filter out uninkables. Things like Bobby are still incredibly relevant in the game. Things like Rapunzel, again, can do the same thing, and even like the new Flynn in Green Steel, the Shift. Again, just being able to draw and discard, and the Angel. There's just too much. There's so much good stuff, and even if you have like this in a Gothel, or this in one of those like ping actions, you play it anyways to discard it because you're going to play from the discard anyways for that turn. Again, just an incredibly, incredibly strong card. I love this card so very much. It is going to be very good. So there is a lot of stuff to load up on. This one is just so good, and I know it is going to take this game over at least week 1 or 2, depending on what else gets printed. I really do feel like this card is going to explode. This Mickey and Minnie is just incredibly strong. Green Blue always had that like little essence of being aggro, especially with that new legendary Ursula, the Stitch that can keep like coming back from the grave, and all these support characters that can basically make you quest for like 10. There's just so much stuff that hinted to it just being able to produce so much lore, and now we have access to a 0-6 and 0-4 zippers that can ultra boost our Mulan. We have an Alice that can give support to everything, and everything in Green Blue apparently now is just so incredibly strong at a 5/5 that quests for 5. Being able to quest for 5, give 5 to Mulan, and then quest for additional 6, especially when you do everything like on curve. You can go, there is a Minnie and a Mickey that are cost 1 and cost 2 on curve in blue. So you go Minnie, Mickey, they're dry, shift, play Mulan, play a 1-drop zipper. Depending on what gets answered, you play Alice. You play Alice or you play Ranger Blade, bro, you are questing for like 12 a turn. This is just so incredibly good, especially with the things that are already printed in the game. We are still yet to see things that probably lean into this sort of aggro format, but Green Blue is going to be so fun. This Mickey and Minnie are probably going to dominate the game for a little bit. And again, on top of all of this, you have Bobby, Rapunzel to filter just a little bit. Things like Lyle are still in the game, and Scrooge McDuck. So being able to find Under the Sea and be able to sing this basically almost on a turn 4. A turn 4 kind of clear is going to be it's going to be fun. It's going to just be another tramp issue where you get to shift for 0, take 2 of your characters, and have a 7 cost inkable on the board. That when you do banish it, produces you ink. So it's going to be insane. It's going to be so fun. Woody and Buzz Lightyear is just a little bit worse than I thought, but still an incredibly strong card. It's only when you play this character, you can choose an opponent and draw up to the amount of cards that they have. So it's only a 1-time trigger. So somebody that's playing like very well, or obviously if like this deck is becoming super popular and people play like Ruby Amethyst, balance 3 cards in their hand, but have super high static characters on the board. You basically don't get to draw anything, right? So you're just kind of having to answer here and there. And then whenever this character quests, you may play a card cost 2 or less. I do actually really enjoy that card, simply because it synergizes with the legendary Woody so well. There's also ways to basically set yourself up to play like, again, Under the Sea plays because of the color combination, Lullabies, Eleanor's. There's just a lot to do. This card is just good too, honestly. It's just a very good card, but again, something to definitely watch. The only reason why I don't The only reason why I'm not like crazy about this card, even though it is a crazy card, it is a crazy card. There's cost reduction in these colors. There's Under the Sea in these colors. There's everything you want in these colors. But toys, when it comes to like their synergy pieces, are very demanding. Being able to go like Woody into for sure a bodyguard into Woody is semi-demanding. You need those pieces, and they're also uninkable, so you kind of have to keep them. And then again, drawing. If you don't hit Woody, how do you draw out? Basically, you've got a friend of me or Jesse. So again, things like Ursula strips or popping with like Strength or Raging Fire is fast enough to stop this. So there's things here and there, but again, we have not seen all remaining 120 cards. So these cards are still very, very good. And I'm not saying that they're bad at any means. I play a deck that's like Alien RC Willow into Jesse, into the Quest, into the Nani. So there's still a million ways to draw. Still a million ways to draw. But it's gonna be interesting to see where this card specifically lands in those decks and the archetypes that people want to build with. But again, a must-have card. These are basically some of my best cards released so far. There are a lot of interesting cards, a lot of really cool items, a lot of really cool actions, a lot of really cool small synergies that we are seeing, a lot of ways to like cheat out the big panda and like sing crazy songs and things like that. But especially with post rotation coming with set 13, it is a little bit more difficult to see like what really synergizes, what will really find play, things like that. So these are cards that I basically have narrowed down to be like, these will probably see play because we already see things that are very similar to this. And again, the only thing that's going to stand a chance to like a lot of these decks now is Amber Amethyst, because they have Willow and Dale. But we don't have Elsa yet. But we probably will get Elsa. But if we get Elsa, I really hope we get Lilo. But again, thank you guys very much. This has just been the first 80 cards, narrowing it down for some of the most exciting things. I'll probably make a must-have list for post-rotation, and I will see you guys next time.